Hey YouTube, it's Marquita, and this video is going to be completely about an overall update about how our scan went on Tuesday and the results of that. So I've been away from YouTube for almost 2 or 3 weeks now, so I'll start from the beginning and kind of update you guys on how we got to this point. So, as I've mentioned in previous videos, I was risked out of my home birth by my midwifery practice because of my gestational diabetes. I was then transferred care to a teaching hospital here to their diabetes clinic. Now, for those of you who have been following my journey this whole time, you'll know that throughout this pregnancy, I've had a lot of ultrasounds, mainly because of my daughter's rare heart abnormality. They wanted to make sure that it didn't reoccur in this baby, and because I'm high risk for a miscarriage, and it was more of like a reassurance for our doctor, and we did fertility medications to get pregnant. So we had a lot of ultrasounds thus far in our pregnancy. Um, However, for some reason, those ultrasounds were not good enough for the new doctor that we were going to. I had 2 appointments with him and a resident. I guess she's a resident, I don't know. I had 2 appointments with them, and they informed me that they needed to do a baseline ultrasound to see where the baby was, and they would use this baseline to basically determine like the baby's weight, how far along I was, things of that nature. Now, I had just had a fetal echocardiogram about 4 weeks prior to me being risked out of my home birth. And I asked them why they couldn't use those scans, and they said that they just wanted to have a baseline, blah, blah, blah. So they scheduled me for an ultrasound the following week. Um, and Krista and I went to the ultrasound appointment. And the ultrasound technician, I had some other things to do in the hospital that day for the clinic, and so we were at the ultrasound appointment early. They called us in early, and for some reason, the ultrasound technician acted like she was in a rush. For any of you who have ever had an ultrasound, you'll know that babies are really squiggly, and at that point, I was 29 weeks, or was I 30? I don't know, 29 weeks, I believe. And so babies are pretty big at that point. So the ultrasound technician didn't really make any attempts to have me like roll over to get the baby to move. She just like tapped my stomach with the wand, which just really honestly just pissed the baby off. It didn't get her to move at all. So, sorry. So, in the ultrasound, she went really fast. Any other ultrasound that we've ever had took at least an hour. We were in and out, I would say 15, 20 minutes tops. And this was not with my doctor. It was with a sonographer. So somebody who's supposed to be trained in this. So we, go about our business. I was already a little salty because I didn't get any pictures. I know that's ridiculous. You should see our refrigerator. I'm going to have to take a picture. It's covered in pictures from the baby from the time that she was 6 weeks all the way up to now. So I was a little salty about that, but I was like, whatever. It's not that big of a deal. So we went on about our business, and I had an appointment with my doctor the next day. So the way that this teaching hospital works is that a resident is in charge of your care, and you'll see a bunch of different residents while you're there. They come in and do their exam. They go out. They brief the doctor. Like if you watch Grey's Anatomy, it's like that. Like how they go and they tell the doctor, and then the doctor comes in and does whatever they do. So it's like that. So this resident comes in the room the day after my ultrasound and says, "Oh, I see that you had your ultrasound yesterday." And I said, "Yes." And she said, "Oh, well, we need to talk about this." Now, mind you, let me set the scene for you guys. I'm sitting here like in the chair, and she comes in the door right over here, and she's like barely halfway across the room while she's saying this. She hasn't sat down, nothing. She's just like, "Oh, we need to talk about this." And by the time she gets close to me, she says, "Your baby's heart is enlarged." And I'm like a deer in headlights, like, what? I was like, how is that even possible? And she was just like, well, let me show you what the ultrasound said. So she like went through the ultrasound and said that the baby's cardiothoracic cavity, which I know that's a huge word. So cardiothoracic is, this is your like thoracic region. Um, so inside of your rib cage would basically be like the cardiothoracic area in a baby. So there's this ratio depending on how much of the heart takes up that cardiothoracic area. For at my stage, it was supposed to be 0.55, or 0.50 half, and mine was 0.66. So she said that the baby's heart was enlarged. Now, first of all, she didn't even know what cardiothoracic ratio meant, so I was a little not happy about that. I had went to this appointment by myself because for some reason this doctor never has any appointments in the afternoon, and so Krista wasn't able to come. She was coming to meet me there later in the appointment, but she was not there when I got this news. So I instantaneously called her and said, look, this is what they're saying. You need to get over here right now. So the resident had to go page the doctor, and I had to sit in this room by myself for 25 minutes, waiting on this doctor to finish his gosh darn lunch, and that's not the word that I want to say, for him to come down and give me some analogy about a Shakespearean play that, oh, I think that everything should be okay because tragedies don't come in armies. Tragedies don't come in single assassins, they come in armies. Some bullcrap like that really just like, are you being for real? Did you not read my file? Do you not know that I have a baby that has a heart condition? And you're just like nonchalantly telling me that my new baby has a heart condition, and this is the first time that I've ever heard anything about this. All my other scans have been normal. So that made Krista so mad. I don't think I've seen her that mad in a very long time. And that doctor should be very happy that he came in the room and was out of the room within 4 minutes. Because by the time it took for her to park and get up there, he was walking out of the room, and he should be very happy and thank his lucky stars that that day he was not in the room with her, because she would have went off. So after that, they said, well, we're going to call Seattle Children's Hospital, and you're going to have your scan over there. And it's emergency. We need to get it done as soon as possible. Okay, so this is like 3 o'clock in the afternoon on Tuesday. It wasn't until Thursday, was that Wednesday afternoon? Wednesday, like at 5 o'clock, while we're interviewing a new midwife, Seattle Children's finally calls us and says that they have an appointment. It's at 12 o'clock in the day. That's the only appointment they have till May 7th. So we went to our appointment on Tuesday. Of course, I've been a nervous wreck all week. To tell a mother who lost a baby to a heart defect that another baby might have a heart defect, and then tell them that you can't get them an appointment until the following week, awful. So we go to our scan on Tuesday. They do a growth scan of the baby, which was awesome. They were so awesome at Children's Hospital, which I knew that they were going to be because that's all they do. When Imani was sick, she was in a Children's Hospital, and they were awesome. The people are trained to like deal with anxiety-filled parents, so the people there were awesome. The lady spent a lot of time like making sure that the baby rolled over and making sure that she got all of her measurements. She even gave us an opportunity to see her in 4D, and I will show you guys those at the end of this video, or actually I'll put them at the end of my other update. So you have to watch the other video to see them, because I don't have them right here. So anyway, she got in 4D. They were awesome. We did the echocardiogram again, and then we met with the fetal a fetal cardiologist and a high-risk OB, where they told us there in the room that everything was fine. Everything looked great. They don't know what the other ultrasound technician, what her issue was. On the previous ultrasound, she said that she couldn't see my baby's right leg. She couldn't see like the foot. She couldn't see the spine. Um, some other things. And I'm like, well, I'm pretty sure that I would know at this point in my pregnancy if my baby didn't have a spine, because I'm pretty sure she wouldn't be alive. I'm pretty sure that I would know if my baby didn't have a foot. Like, there's these. I'm sorry. I'm trying to fix my hair because for my locks are being really ridiculous today. Anyway, I would know if my baby didn't have these things as many scans as I've had. So it was really ridiculous. They said that they didn't know what she was talking about, and they're so sorry that we had to go through this, but everything was fine. Baby, perfectly fine, measuring 3 pounds, 9 ounces, in the 52nd percentile, so right there in the middle, not too big, not too small, right there in the middle. Um, and yeah, that was it. Like, everything was fine. Um, Talk about being on an anxiety trip and like hours and hours of crying and worrying for nothing. So, needless to say, I will be contacting the patient advocate at the hospital and I'll be writing lots and lots of letters until someone gets reprimanded for being in a rush for no reason. Um, so, yeah, everything is good with baby girl. Thank you guys so much for your prayers and your thoughts and your meditations and whatever conversations you had with your higher power. We appreciate them because everything turned out perfectly fine and baby girl is doing great. And yeah, we're so happy. It's like a huge sigh of relief that everything is good. So that is the update on our scan, and there's really nothing to update because she's doing great. We'll probably have another scan in about 3 weeks to make sure that she's not too big for birth. Um, but other than that, her heart looks great and she's doing great. And yeah, I talk about more about my ultrasound at the end at my blah 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 tongue tied on my 29, 30, and 31 week update. So yep, go over there and see it, hear all the other fun and exciting information about the scan, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.